So you want to go ahead and gather your supplies to make flit. We're going to be using this hot orange color for the body or the seed head. We're going to be using some scissors, a piece of white thread for the cheek markings, black thread for the eye markings, yarn needle, size F crochet hook, a stitch marker, and some more white yarn for the skirt. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing that you want to do is go ahead and make a double magic ring. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap the yarn around my fingers twice. Okay, now I'm going under these two here, and I'm going to bring this third loop down underneath them. Okay, looks kind of like an A. Slip your middle finger out there, and then you're going to use the back fingers to go ahead and do a slip stitch to connect, and that allows you to remove your fingers and leave the loop. Okay, so now we're doing our single crochets going around this tail and these two loops here. So we're going to do 4 single crochets. So there's 1, you go in, yarn over from the back, pull forward, yarn over again and pull through. That's 2, yarn over to the back, yarn over again and pull through, stitch underneath, go yarn over in the back, pull forward, yarn over and pull through. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. Now you go ahead and pull your tail here, and you'll see which one starts to pull tight, which is this one. That's the one you want to grab now. Pull it until it's as tight as you can get it. Now grab your tail and pull tight. That makes it an even more secure ring than just a traditional magic ring, the double magic ring technique. Okay, so next, go ahead and place your stitch marker. For round 2, we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet and then an increase twice. Okay, so let's do our first single crochet. I usually take the tail and lay it across so that we're working the stitches around the tail just to secure it even further. There's 1 single crochet. Now we're going to do an increase in the next stitch. So that means 2 single crochets in that 1 stitch. Okay, so there's 1, and in the same space, we'll do 2. Okay, now you can tuck your tail to the back. Go ahead and do another single crochet. And 1 more increase to finish off round 2. So that's again 2 single crochets in the same stitch. That makes it an increase. Okay, there we go. Now take your stitch marker out, place it now on the loop around your hook. You've finished round 2. For round 3, we're just single crocheting all the way around, okay? So we're not increasing at all. Our stitch count at the end of this round will still be 6. So there's 1, 2. You can use your nails if you can't get the stitch on the hook. 3, 4, 5, and last one, oops, and 6. Okay, remove your stitch marker, place it on the loop around your hook. You can trim off this tail too so that it's not hanging down. We don't need that. Okay, now we're going on to rounds 4 and 5. Now, these are going to be creating the shape that we want so that the seed kind of arcs downward, okay? First, you're going to do an invisible decrease. So, invisible decreases, you go in through the front loop only. So, you go into the first loop, go into the second loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2 loops. That's an invisible decrease. Now we're going to go ahead and do 2 increases, okay? So here's the first increase. 1, 2 within that 1 stitch. That's our increase. Now we're going to do 1 more of those. So go to the next stitch. There's 1 single crochet and do the second one in there for the increase. Okay, in the last 2 stitches, we're going to do another invisible decrease. So again, go through the front loops only, the first one, and then in the second. Yarn over from the back, pull through. Okay, you should have 2 loops now on your hook, yarn over again, and pull through. Okay. Okay, we're going to do that same exact pattern on this next round. Okay, so let's do another invisible decrease. We're going around the first loop, around the second loop's front loop only, yarn over from the back, pull through those 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops. Okay. Now do 2 more increases. So we're going to go into the next stitch. Whoops. Not all the way over to the other side. Here we go. Okay, yarn over, pull through, do another one in that same stitch. So that's our first increase. Get into the next stitch. We're going to go ahead and do another increase. There's 1 and 2 single crochets, okay, to make that increase. And now we're going to do 1 more invisible decrease, okay? So going into the front loops only, just grab that loop. Okay, now go to the next one, grab that front loop. All right, so now you should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, okay? All right, perfect. So now we're gonna go ahead and embroider the face before we finish off the seed head, okay? So what you wanna do is you wanna go ahead and flatten the seed head, okay? So where there's the increases, you'll notice that the seed curves downward, okay? So this is going to be the head here, and then this will be fastened off to be the body down at the bottom. 1 more row at the end of that one. Let's go ahead and grab our black yarn. You can also use embroidery thread if you'd like, if you want sort of a thinner eye and a thinner cheek markings. So feel free to choose whichever one works best for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and do yarn. Okay, thread your needle. Okay, so go ahead and go in through the hole. We're going to try to go between the fibers of the yarn to secure our end inside. Okay, go ahead and pull it gently until you feel that tension that you know the knot is placed inside, okay? We're going to do just a straight stitch. We're going straight down. We're going to go through the head to the other side where we're going to place the other eye. So there's one eye. Go to the other side, flip it around, and go ahead and do another straight stitch to make the other eye. And where you want to come out this time is back on the first eye where we're going to go ahead and fasten the yarn off. Okay, so there's the other eye. Now to fasten the yarn off, I go ahead and I grab that first eye loop and I gently make a knot. Lift it up to find the hole underneath, come out somewhere else, doesn't matter where, and then pull it through, tucking that knot inside. So there you see you've got the eye on one side, the eye on the other side, but you can't see the knot. And then go ahead and cut the yarn off. And then you want to tuck that yarn into the body. Okay, so you can use your needle to do this, or you can kind of wiggle it on the inside. That usually will tuck it in nicely, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna grab our white yarn. We're gonna tie a knot at the end, okay? Thread your needle. All right, and again, coming in from that hole, we're gonna go ahead and come in through the fibers, between the fibers so that the knot stays inside. And we're just doing 2 straight stitches going horizontally. And these are just the little cheek marks that Flit has. Okay, there's one. Do the next, this time coming into the other side of the face. Okay, flip the seed head over and do the same on that side with the straight stitches. There's 1 and 2. Again, coming back to the first side to do the tie off. Either, doesn't matter which end you're tying off, just go to one end of the white. Okay, there's the 2 marks on one side, 2 marks on the other. Go ahead and tie it off, making sure to only grab that white. Don't grab the orange or you're not gonna be able to tuck that knot in. Okay, go ahead and tie your knot. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the needle back in underneath that knot. come out somewhere else on the body. I'll come down underneath here. All right, and then go ahead and pull it until you see that knot tuck in as best as you can. All right, so there's 2 marks on one side, 2 marks on the other side. Cut off the white yarn and tuck in that little tuft right there, okay? All right. So let's go ahead and finish off making the seed head. You need to grab your crochet hook. We're not stuffing it at all. Okay, so for round 6, all we're doing is an invisible decrease all the way around, okay? So again, that's through the front loops only. There's 1. Grab the next front loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Okay, do the next one. There should be a total of 3 since there were 6 stitches from the prior round. So there's the second, and then there should be 1 more that we can do on those last 2 stitches from the prior round. Again, going in through the front loops only. Okay, go through those 2 loops, yarn over, go through the last 2 loops, take out your stitch marker. And you want to slip stitch in the next one. If you can only get the front loop, that's fine, doesn't really matter. We're just going to go ahead and fasten it off. Okay. Cut away the orange yarn, but make sure you leave us a bit of a tail because we're going to go ahead and use that to secure it to the skirt, okay? Pull tight. All right. So now you can see we've got our seed head. He's kind of in the shape that we want, but we want to make him more in the shape that we want. So let's grab our needle. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and I just take 1 stitch just to make sure that that hole is nicely secured. Okay, I come back up. Whichever way your head is gonna be curved, I come around where that curve is supposed to be, okay? Don't pull too tightly because you don't want the end to tuck in and not have that nice sharp little seed point there, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a tuck stitch, I call them. But what it is it's just kind of creating this arc. It's the same thing we did with Whimsy's head to give her that crescent moon shape, okay? We're just taking a couple of stitches to make this sharp part come towards the face a little bit to give it shape as to how we want the seed to be shaped, okay? So when I pull, can see that his head now looks more kidney bean shaped, which is what we want, okay? So go ahead and keep it threaded, but set it aside. We don't need it just yet. We need to make his skirt. So for that, you need to make what would normally be the way to make a pom-pom, but it's not gonna be as full as a usual pom-pom, okay? So grab your white yarn. First, take your scissors and cut off just a little small length, maybe 6 to 8 inches long. Set that aside. Okay, holding with your thumb, holding the yarn, make sure this end is at the edge of your pinky here. We're gonna wrap this around 20 times, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact. Cut it again towards the pinky. Okay, snip it away. Now, you're gonna pull it off from around your fingers, but you wanna keep them nicely looped, okay? Grab your other yarn that you snipped away in the beginning. You're gonna lay this across, and you're gonna, holding it with your hand, go ahead and tie this tightly, okay? Around the center, tight as you can. I usually do 2 to 3 ties just to make sure it's nicely fastened. Okay. All right, so it should kind of look like a bow. Next, grab your scissors. What you want to do is you're going to cut the loops on either side, all of them. Being careful not to cut that center tie that you used to tie all the threads together, okay? Going to the other side, doing the same thing. There we go. Oops, missed one. Okay, So make sure you've cut them all. Nope, found one more. Okay, let me cut that. And it looks like I got them all, okay? These ones are still long, but we're gonna go ahead and shape this later. So here's your center tie. You wanna go ahead and go in from one side and just sort of try to pull it down towards the bottom so you don't see that center tie. You're starting to create that shape of the skirt with your fingers here. Okay. So you can start to trim away some of the excess if you'd like, or you could wait till the end, it's your choice. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim it up a little bit here. Okay, go ahead and swoosh that away. All right, so there's the little skirt. Let's go ahead and grab Flit's head. Now, you're gonna go ahead and go in through that top spot right there, okay? Now, part it until you see where that tie was. That center tie, just look for it. There it is. So there's my center tie right there, okay? So you wanna go ahead and come in from the center down to where that center tie is, all right? So here we go. Now, pull the head down. Okay, first I go ahead and I tie a knot to this center tie to begin fastening the head, okay? Making sure not to get the white pieces of the skirt into that knot. So there's one. I'm gonna go ahead and do two. Again, making sure those don't go into the knot. Okay. There's the second one. All right, so that begins fastening it. If it's tight enough for you, you can leave it that way. Otherwise, you can come back up to the top next to the seed head. You can go ahead and go through from one side to the other at the very base. Okay, going back down to where you had the knot tied. Okay, pulling that down tight. So as to really fasten that head in there, okay? Now we're gonna do another tie around that center, around the knots that you made in the prior time that we were tying them off, okay? So I'm gonna do another two to really secure that head down, okay? All right, now go ahead and cut that orange away. Okay, go back up to the head, and you want to go ahead and using your fingers, just go ahead and shape the skirt back around so you don't see that stitch that you took at the bottom. You don't see those knots that you made. It's hidden by the skirt. Okay. All right, now the last thing you can do, if you'd like, is you can go ahead and shape the skirt some more. So if you look at it and it's a little bit long, you can just go ahead and again do that same thing where you're just shaping it with your scissors. Maybe coming up a little bit on the sides, a little longer down towards the bottom. Okay, and swoop those away. And there you have it. There is Whimsy's best friend, Flit. Okay, he's a milkweed wisp. All right. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe and then ding the bell so that you get notified anytime I make a new video. All right, see you next time. Bye.